The night before our wedding, my mother needed a $50,000 emergency deposit for surgery. I went to my fiancé, Major Adrian Hayes, hoping he would listen before it was too late. He only saw the number. He paid the deposit in the end, but something between us broke that night. That money became the beginning of every name he would ever use against me. After that, every time I asked him for help, he sent me $100. When I was in a car accident, he sent $100. When I begged him to attend my mother's funeral, he sent $100. 8 months ago, I found out I was pregnant. I sent him 77 voice messages, desperate to tell him we were having a baby. He never listened. He only sent 77 payments of $100. Later, when I started bleeding and was rushed into emergency surgery, I called Adrian and begged him to come to the hospital to answer the doctors to save our child. He sent $100 again. At the same time, Madeline's Instagram story showed Adrian in his dress uniform beside her at a lavish officer's charity gala. The comments all treated them like the perfect match. I stared at the screen until my hand went numb. I was begging for him from the edge of an emergency room while he stood under chandeliers beside another woman, looking as if he had already found the wife he wanted. By the time Adrian finally turned his phone back on, his staff officer's voice was shaking. "Major Hayes, your wife and the baby did not make it." And in that moment, Adrian went feral. After the prenatal checkup, the doctor pushed the report toward me. "Nora, you are almost 8 months pregnant, and this is a high-risk pregnancy. There is a chance of premature labor, so I recommend admitting you for observation today. If things worsen, we may need an emergency C-section." She glanced at the admission form. "Can your husband come in? We need your emergency contact, insurance details, and hospital notification information updated before admission." For months, I had come to every appointment alone. Blood tests, ultrasounds, fetal monitoring, payments, and prescriptions were all things I handled by myself. I knew the process so well that the nurses had stopped asking why no one came with me. I took out my phone and sent Adrian a voice message. "The doctor says the baby may come early. Can you come to the hospital?" A minute later, my phone vibrated. "Only a transfer. Adrian Hayes sent you $100. The note read, 'Need money again?'" I stared at the note and thought of the night before our wedding. Adrian had once looked at me as if I were the only thing he was sure of. Before he became Major Hayes, before dress uniforms and command briefings hardened every line of him, he had been the 22-year-old officer who fought his family to marry me. He saved training pay for a small ring, took night shifts to afford our first apartment deposit, and once crossed half the city after a field exercise just to leave hot coffee outside my dorm. When he proposed, he told me he would make me the happiest officer's wife in the world. Back then, I thought that was the man I was marrying. Later, I went to his apartment with my mother's hospital bill in my hand. I had not even finished explaining before he saw the amount. "My mother needs surgery tonight," I said. "Please, just listen to me first." Adrian did not take the bill, so they were right. "My parents said you came after me for money, and Madeline said you would ask for it sooner or later." He looked at the paper in my hand as if it were something filthy. "I did not believe them, not until you brought a $50,000 bill to me the night before our wedding." I tried to explain, but he was already looking at me like a stranger. "Did you think I could not walk away now that the wedding is tomorrow?" He left the apartment that night without listening. Before I could decide what to do, Madeline sent me to Harlan Price, a donor at the Meridian Hotel who helped military families. I went because I had no other choice. Price caught my wrist in the public lounge and tried to lead me toward the elevators. Adrian arrived before I could pull free, but he did not ask why I was there. An hour later, the hospital called to say the deposit had been paid from his account.